Here to take us through the the French press is Florence. Hello, Florence. We're going to start off with President François Hollande. He's been really busy, even though it's the month of August here in France, and most people are on the beach. He's been in the Vendée region defending his strategy against unemployment.
That's right. No rest for the weary, according to Aujourd'hui en France. Now, last year, he was actually criticized for perhaps being a little bit too inactive, kicking up his heels a little bit too much during the summer. But Aujourd'hui en France points out that he's really changed his strategy. Here I am, he says. So he's been traveling all over the country this summer. In fact, in just 1 week, he's made 3 visits across France to prove that he's on top of things. He says that unemployment doesn't go on vacation, so he's not for just now. What he's trying to do, according to Aujourd'hui en France, is spread his optimism, try to show people that we're going to make it when it comes to the economic situation. But critics on the right say that, well, he's kind of overdoing it. All this is really just a PR strategy, a show to try to convince French people that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But maybe it's more of a kind of trying to spark a self-fulfilling prophecy here. And Les Echos, the business paper, points out that this communication strategy of his doesn't actually really seem to be working because, first of all, a few economic experts actually really agree with him. And then, according to a recent poll, 70% of French people actually think that the economic situation is getting worse.
And amongst the critics, there's those at Le Figaro.
That's right, Le Figaro, the right-leaning newspaper. So not very surprising that they're critical of François Hollande. They said that he's got it all wrong, and waving around this optimism isn't going to help because basically his strategy rests on government handouts to boost employment. But Le Figaro says that what's really needed are real structural changes to make the labor market more flexible and to help French companies be more competitive.
Now, the French press is also reacting to what's going on in Tunisia, another political crisis there.
That's right. L'Humanité, the communist paper, looks at those big protests yesterday, actually calls them monster protests. This is the front page of L'Humanité that calls this a human tidal wave. And inside, L'Humanité takes a closer look at what it calls the creeping Islamism. So this the Ennahda party, and just how this party is creeping into all aspects of Tunisian society, according to L'Humanité. It says that there have been in recent months a whole bunch of warning signs that the Islamist party isn't even really trying to be that discreet about anymore. They're not trying to be that discreet about the fact that they really want to spread their version of Islam, no matter what cost, according to L'Humanité.
And what are the papers saying about what's going on in the U.S. with the Washington Post being sold to the boss of Amazon?
Well, a lot of papers are wondering what this means for the future of the written press, and Libération is actually quite optimistic about it. It's on the front page today, and it says that the written press is actually a good investment for the future. And they point out that what's really interesting about this sale is that, well, Bezos is someone who has a background in the new digital media, and this is what he's doing here is betting on an iconic figure from the old press, the old written press. So this is really interesting for a lot of French papers. If you look at the Figaro Économie, it's also on the front page. It's a similar idea. The internet whiz kid gets his hand on the Washington Post. That's on the front page of Le Figaro Économie.
And Libération takes a look at the Japanese mafia going through some tough times, it seems.
That's right. This is a really interesting article in Libération. You can see a photo here of a man named Kenichi Shinoda. He's 71 years old, and he's the Kumicho, or the boss of the Yamaguchi Gumi. So that's the biggest Yakuza family in Japan. But he's facing some unprecedented legal trouble because there's a woman, a restaurant owner, who's suing him personally for racketeering because basically she had to give protection money to a local gang that was part of the Yamaguchi gang. But according to new laws in Japan, the big boss is actually personally responsible for anything his subordinates do. So he's in troubled waters legally, and it could bring the whole organization down.
Okay, thank you very much, Florence. That's it for the French press.